Yo, episode 49.
Yeah.
This episode is Fat as Judy's Behind.
No, this episode's called San Francisco.
San Francisco? Why is it San Francisco?
49ers, fam.
Oh, facts. Facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jizz too hard.
No condom though. No condom though.
Stand around close. Get caught up in my jizz.
Pause. You caught up in your jizz? Like a web? Like you walk into your own jizz web?
Yo, could you imagine you were like Spider-Man? You just shot out cum wads at people? Like,
yo, you have to pause that. You get caught up in your own jizz
Semen
web?
Semen man does whatever your semen can. Slides and clits every night. Pregnates your girl and wife. Watch out. Here comes the semen man.
Yo, we came up with that whole idea while we were watching porn in Starbucks.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, so for the people that don't know, so apparently Starbucks, which I'm surprised this wasn't like way earlier. Like, I don't know how this goes down. Like, I don't know how it takes them till 2018, basically 2019, to figure out, oh, a lot of people are using Wi-Fi in our places and they're going to Pornhub.com.
So this like really like affects me a lot because I have two separate addictions. I have a Starbucks addiction and then I have a porn addiction.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Pornhub and YouPorn. Yo, porn, yeah, can we address something here? Did Pornhub not become way better than YouPorn in the last like 2-3 years? Like, I think YouPorn had the edge originally.
I don't think I ever watched YouPorn.
Really? Yo, YouPorn was like the original bad man thing. Like, you would go on, like, it was the YouTube of porn. And then Pornhub kind of like stole their identity.
I feel like I watch YouPorn.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
YouPorn used to be my go-to, but then it became.
YouJizz.
Oh, see, YouJizz, that was like, I always thought that was some gay shit.
See, like, I've always had my computer set up. Like, I remember I had this really good one. I didn't know what it was. All I had to do was press X on my keyboard on when it was on the website thing. It'd pop up and I press enter. And go to this porn thing. I forget what it was.
I think there's one called like XX Video or like something like that.
Something like
that's like some old school shit too.
That was way back in the
day.
But like, yeah. And then I got into Pornhub.
Like since like 2010, I think. I don't know. I can't like I don't date my porn like that, but I think like porn, like YouPorn. Like I'd heard of Pornhub, but I wasn't really like rocking with it. Like, and now it's like it's the prominent thing. It's like the Spotify over the title and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You like Pornhub is the thing now, but like for years, like I was like, Pornhub was like that secondary website. I was rocking with YouPorn. But now you go on YouPorn, it's like all like point of view, like cell phone videos and like amateur shit, and it's like I'm really not really that into that. Like. Yo, do you know what I'll give some props to Pornhub for? They're really big on the fucking your stepsister videos. Make some noise for the fucking your stepsister videos. Those are fire. Because it's always some like banging chick that like looks nothing like the dude in the video, and you're like, these guys aren't stepbrother and stepsister. But then there's like a fake mom who comes in every time and like it's like, oh my god, and then like the fake mom's fucking her son and shit, and you're like, this shit's crazy.
How many sisters does this guy have? You know, like.
Yeah, a lot of times it's just be like the same guy in like 5 videos. You're like, what the fuck? Like, that shit's crazy.
You must have mad sisters.
Like, role playing in porn videos is the worst shit in the world, but.
And, shout out to Pornhub because, like, their troll game is pretty good, too.
Oh, yeah, they got a good troll game. See, and that's another thing I think. Like, they're like the Tekashi 6ix9ine of porn. It was like, they might not have supplied you with the best content originally, but they trolled their way into existence. And now they're, like, here to stay. And now they get the good content. Like
the one day I logged in, it was just, like, called Cornhub.
I remember you telling us about that on an earlier episode. Like, that's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
And then the one, as soon as you open it up, it said, this has been shared on all your social media.
Oh, that's fire, too. And think about Pornhub over YouPorn too. Like I feel like YouPorn is always randomized, so always like what was uploaded recently as to where like Pornhub, it'll kind of like read. It's like almost like YouTube in that sense where it's like it knows what you like. Yeah. And then it shows you the most recent shit that's like up your alley. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it will say like recommend.
So you're like, oh, you like bukkake? Yeah, this shit's been posted recently. Oh, you like piss mops? Yeah, this has been recently. And you'd be like, oh, Pornhub knows I'm a nasty motherfucker. You know what a piss mop is? It's a girl who drinks piss.
I definitely like the older ladies.
I like it when it's like I came home and fucked my stepmom. Isn't that same shit? Like, yo, let's make some noise for that nasty taboo porn.
Nasty taboo porn.
Nasty taboo porn. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up with a stepmom, but I grew up with friends where I was like, yo, your stepmom's kind of hot. You want to give her the business? And they're like, fuck no, man, that's gross. I'm like, yeah, people fuck their cousins. I don't think fucking your stepmom's that gross.
So, yeah, we've seen that.
Would you fuck your stepmom? Wait, do you have a stepmom?
Yes.
Okay. Never mind. When it's not hypothetical, it's no longer as funny.
But yeah, we've seen that one of the porn sites, was it Pornhub or was it one of the other porn sites that banned their employees from bringing Starbucks?
Fuck it. If your stepmom was not the stepmom you have now, but a different stepmom and she was hot, would you fuck her?
I don't know. It would depend on the situation.
I would.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I'm not really in that position. It's easier for me to say that.
It's very like.
It's very easy for me to say that.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that situation feels like.
Right. But I think it's pretty.
What about your stepsister? Like, yo, you watch those videos and like that girl's banging.
I don't have a stepsister.
All right, so would you bang your stepsister if she was hot?
Probably. Yeah.
Would you do it with no condom?
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, can you turn his mic up a little bit? You probably don't know what you're doing. Just make sure you're talking to the mic.
Yeah,
a little closer.
for sure. No, like no condom is a thing. Like,
But so if you impregnated your step cousin, would you make her get an abortion, or your stepsister?
abortion is like a fucking normal thing. Like fucking.
Nah, man. No, don't. Yo, don't worry.
Like fucking. When,
You don't know what you're doing over there. I won't make you do that. Sorry.
Like when I die, like all the fucking abortion kids are gonna like come and be like, oh, daddy. Like.
Nah, man. Yo.
When I go up to like wherever I go, those fucking abortion kids are gonna find me.
I can't joke about the abortion shit, man. To be honest with you, okay. But I guess that goes full circle too. I just asked you if you fuck your stepmom, and then so when things hit home, I guess they're a little different.
True. So what do you think about the porn company?
I mean, if I got like a dog pregnant, I'd make it get an abortion.
You're gonna get a fucking dog.
No. You gotta let that fucking dog have those babies. Like.
No.
Well, you think that's Mother Nature doing his justice?
Yeah.
Fuck a dog to begin with.
Well, I'm kind of quoting Bizarre here. So when like I interviewed Bizarre recently, I was like, "Yo, what do you think your nasty?" Because we all know Bizarre is known for his nasty lines. I'm like, "What do you think your nastiest line ever is?" And I already knew the one I was thinking in my head.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh," he thought for like a minute, and he's like, "I probably have to say, I'll fuck anything when I'm snorting. It's gonna cost $300 to get my pit bull an abortion." And I'm like, "Yo, I was thinking the same line." Like, real talk. The first time I heard that, I'm like, "This motherfucker's crazy."
So you think like the puppies would bark or they'd go skirt skirt?
I don't know. If Jeremiah had sex with a dog and it had kids, do you think it goes skirt beep beep, or do you think it would rough?
It'd probably be like.
Would Jeremiah suck a dog to sleep?
You have to ask him.
No, I'm just playing. I want that Jeremiah interview, and suck me to sleep is a jam.
But like,
I'm just playing.
I think if I had sex with a dog and it had puppies, I think like his bark would be. Every time it barked, it would go.
It's really awkward wearing a coat in here. I should probably take it off, but then I feel like I gotta like put a Band-Aid on my face, and like then Ellen DeGeneres needs to come in here and open up her show and with a little bit of and I'm not ready for all that right now. Like, Ellen, stay the fuck out there. We're doing our thing right now. You can come do your show after.
Okay.
Right?
Yo, I want to get into something.
All right, let's keep it current, man.
Let's keep it current.
Yeah, man. What do we think about Hove going at Ye?
Yo, that shit's fire. Like,
so before we even get into that, what do we think of the new Meek album? Because to be honest, I've never I like Meek. You know what I mean? I respect him, but he's never really been my wave. Like, he's had joints of Doug in the past and shit, but like I've never really been like, yeah, I'm like Team Meek. You know, like when he was going through his shit, I was like, yeah, like, you know, I wasn't like shouting free Meek because I'm not fake like that, right? Like I don't, but
yeah.
I thought that shit was fucked up. I was like, yo, like, you know, I'd like to see the man get free. I thought the name of the album was whack when he released it. Championship, is that
Champions?
No, isn't it Championship? I don't think it's Champions.
I can't.
I think it's Championship.
Okay.
Because Champion's almost, that's still kind of a whack name too. But either way, I was like, I'm not really like into the name a whole lot, to be honest. But
So how many tracks did you hear?
I think I've heard five or six. I heard the joint with Fab Uptown.
I didn't hear that one.
It's alright.
Okay.
Like it's dope. It's dope.
You're the one with Ross and Jay-Z, obviously.
Oh man, we'll get into that last because that's
okay.
the shits right there.
And the one with Drake.
I was not impressed with the one with Drake, man. I'm gonna be honest.
I wasn't impressed either.
And I ride for Drake, like yo, like you know, like you might hear me on like Toronto Talks or other things. Like I clown on Drake a bit, right? We clown on everyone. Like everyone's open game, you know what I mean? I joke on myself, like I joke on everyone.
Facts.
Everyone's open for jokes and discussion, right? And I give my opinion, you know what I mean? The way I see things, and sometimes I see things, and people be like, "Oh, you want that smoke?" I'm like, "No, I don't." Like I fuck with Drake, but.
Out of all the tracks I heard on it, that was probably the worst one.
I agree. That was, and you know what? The beat was fire.
I only heard four.
And that's the problem. The beat was fire. When I heard that beat drop, I'm like, yo. Because first off, when the track list got released, I seen Jay and Ross on the joint. Yeah. And I was not expecting the What's Beef sample. I was not expecting Hove to go at Kanye. I'm just like, yo, I'm amped for that.
Yeah.
The next joint I was most amped for was that Drake shit. Like, they were like head and head.
Yeah.
And then I peeped the J one first. And I was like, yo.
Same here.
And that shit was fire. So I'm like, yo. And I already, like, I didn't really have expectations for that joint necessarily. I was just like, Ross, Meek, and Jay, like, I got to peep that, right?
Yeah.
So I was excited, but I didn't necessarily have expectations. The Drake joint, I had expectations.
Because of the
whole beef, right? And you would think, like if I'm Drake in that situation, I'm not coming with no sicko mode shit where I'm like rapping like a toddler, like some nursery rhymes or some like, you know, like just talking nonsense.
I actually wanted to see like who, like I wanted to
I
both
thought
them
they
go
were
hard.
gonna bar out.
I thought they were gonna bar out, and I wanted to see who had the better verse.
Drake can bar out.
Yeah.
That's the crazy shit. And that beat, when I heard that piano drop, I'm like, oh, this is about to be some shit. And then Drake starts rapping. I'm like, yeah. And then like that singing shit and stuff. And I'm like, yo, like, trust me. Like, I love Drake. I know what he's capable of. I know the singing shit, all that, right? But like, do that shit with like Lil Baby. Dude. Like Look Alive. Like, you went on JB Block Boy's joint and went in 20 times harder than you went in with Meek Mill. And JB, like, no disrespect to JB Blockboy, yo, we want that interview. No, but no disrespect to him. And Take Keith, fuck these up, you know what I mean? Like, these guys, they're doing the thing. And I dig them and I respect them and I vibe with them. But, like, JB's not, like, a lyricist, you know what I mean?
Right.
First off, like, just Drake and Meek on a joint to begin with, they don't have the greatest history, in my opinion. Their collabs in the past have never really, like, showcased either of their strengths. And
I agree, yeah.
And this one, I thought after the beef and shit, like, Meek's got something to prove. And I feel like Drake, after taking the L to Pusha, has something to prove. So I was like, I expected it just to be like I expect this to be a joint where like Meek did some shit, gave it to Drake. Drake came in and bodied it, and then Meek's like, I'm rewriting my shit and came in. Because like, how are you gonna let Drake body you on a joint after, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he didn't. He didn't. Nobody really bodied anyone. Like it was just like it was an track, and the beat was so dope. Like that rusty piano sample. I'm like, oh my god! And then it drops. I'm like, yo. And then like Drake, like.
So as far as like other songs on this, the one with Cardi, I was actually
that track's better than the one with Drake.
Yeah, I was impressed. Like
I was too.
I wasn't like expecting like.
But Cardi's hot, man.
To be dope, but like.
She might not write her shit, but
I like her shit on there. She was dope.
Now, see, and here's something I want to say. Once again, no disrespect to Drake, but like Drake, obviously, he writes a lot of his stuff, but he's known for having ghostwriters. Yeah. Cardi as well. When she was underground, she wrote more of her stuff. Now she's known for not writing, but everybody looks at her. It's the same. It's the Drake effect. Everyone's like, oh, they don't write their own rhymes. Well, anybody who really knows Drake knows he writes rhymes. He just hasn't written all of them.
He's written for other people, too.
Exactly, a lot of people. And the stuff Drake has had ghostwriters for is not his lyrical shit. Like, that's not like Diplomatic Immunity or like fucking, you know what I mean, 9 a.m. in Dallas or like, you know, like that shit where Drake goes in. Like, people who know Drake can rap.
Yeah.
And that's what, like... with something like this, that's why it upsets me, because it's like, yo, like when you're doing joints with Lil Baby and shit, do the shit you're doing right now. But like Drake always does that. He finds a new pocket and a new flow, and
He
like
sticks with it for a bit.
exactly. It started with if you're reading this, it's too late. That's when Drake really first got on the trap shit, and it was kind of like left field, and people were like, whoa, I don't know how I feel about this. And I was the same way. At first, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But like Energy and No Tellin', joints like that are some of his illest joints. Like, that shit is hot. Like, if you're reading this, if you listen to it now, they were saying on Joe Budden podcast, they aged well, and I agree.
I remember Energy, yeah.
Energy is fire.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is ill. So I understand Drake when he finds these new pockets and flows and rides them out, because he rode that out for a bit, then he got on the next flow, rode that out for a bit, like the Views flows, and that, like, you know, he's always got kind of a pocket, and he rides it out for a bit. And to be honest, like, Sicko Mode came out earlier this year. When it first came out, wasn't really feeling Drake's part on it. It took me a little bit to open up to it and get into it.
I still don't like it.
I know you don't, and I still don't think it's like top-notch Drake material. I think it's lazy Drake material, but he found a pocket and he wrote it and it worked, right? And like a light, like even though it's corny, it connects. You know what I mean? It's catchy. Yeah. And I think he was trying. Now he's trying to carry that flow into me. I'm like, yo, keep the toddler flow. Like, don't try to make the toddler flow a thing because it's whack.
Yeah.
Like on Sicko Mode, it wasn't sick. It just worked, and it took a little training of the ears. And I know, with all these phases Drake goes through, it takes training to the ears to get used to him in this new pocket. But I'm just saying, here you can put my word on it right now. This toddler flow pocket ain't it.
No.
Move on from that.
No. And like
Scorpion didn't have this toddler flow on it. Thank fucking God. Because
right.
Scorpion, to me, subpar album from Drake.
Yeah, there were some joints that I liked, but overall it wasn't.
There's joints on it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Especially the first disc. And even the second disc has joints on it.
Yeah.
But there's joints on it like Ratchet Birthday and shit. It's like that was trash.
It could have been cut down to like a one album. Like,
I agree. And you could have done half and half. Yeah. Half bars, half not. Yeah. And the other thing that's confusing too is like how like the second half's supposed to be R&B, but then like Nice for What's on it. But you don't sing on Nice for What. Like that's a rap song. But is what? Because it's catered to women, it goes on the second disc? Like the That's
one of my favorite songs on there.
Yeah, Nice for What is fire.
Yeah, I love that song.
That sample and like even just like, you know, like I like when Drake gets on like his Hove shit and he's like, you know, he kind of like homages shit. Like, hey, buddy, get your motherfucking roll on. Like, whoever thought you could homage a Big Timer song and make a fire joint with it over a Lauryn Hill sample?
Yeah, I wouldn't even thought that.
I bet you a lot of people listen to that don't even realize the first line is homaging the Big Timers.
Yeah, I
know. Hey,
know.
buddy, get your motherfucking roll on.
Yeah,
like
that.
I
did. As soon as I heard
I'm
it.
a shorty and she doesn't want a slow song. Had a man last year, life goes on.
Yeah.
Like that shit's dope, man. Like Drake has such good potential.
Yeah, let's get back to like the Meek album though.
All right, well, that's kind of what it all comes back to. I just think that joint, I expected them both to go so hard on it, and neither of them went that hard. It was almost like Drake came lazy, so Meek, it almost seems like Meek's trying to almost kind of mimic Drake's flow a little bit.
Yeah, overall,
he's like trying to ride pockets. He's not.
I only listened to it once, and overall, I didn't like it. But
I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, like the other song I heard was Cold.
Sorry, before we move on, the point I was making is Drake and Cardi both get criticism for not writing their shit. I don't know how much Cardi writes now. I know she's written shit in the past. I don't know how much she writes now, but I'm assuming it's on a Drake tip. Maybe not as much, but like I'm assuming she writes some stuff. Just like Drake, people will put it in a box and be like, he doesn't write anything because he got caught on a couple songs that weren't that lyrical. You know what I mean?
And the ones that said that came out weren't like the lyrical.
Yeah, like 10 bands. Like to be honest, I don't even like 10 bands. No. You know what I mean? Like I don't like that shit was kind of trash. Yeah. So like to me, it's like, yeah, but look at the stuff he does right. Like, now with Cardi, I don't dig that deep in her, but like, I just think it's crazy how Cardi has a better joint on there than Drake.
Yeah, like it'd be crazy if it came out that like what was that 5 a.m. in Toronto. If it came out that like somebody wrote that, I would be upset. I would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's like finding out someone wrote fucking Rock Bottom for Eminem.
I wouldn't say quite to the level, but
it's the same kind of thing, though, man. Like those are the types of joints you look at Drake for, and you're like, yo, dude's got it.
The other joint
that's like finding out someone wrote Exhibit A for fucking J Electronica.
That'd be crazy. But the other joint that I really liked on that I heard from the Meek joint was Cold Hearted 2.
What joint was that?
I don't know where it was.
Is it a solo joint?
Yeah.
Is it the one with the soulful sample where he's talking about the dudes who turned their back on him and he was in jail and he had to separate himself from people? See, I caught a joint, but I didn't catch the name of it. And it was fire. It's got like a soulful sample. He's talking about being in jail and separating himself from it, and he talks for like 2 minutes on the end. That shit is fire.
I think it was a different one.
I don't know what that joint was called, but that shit was fire.
Like, yeah. I each track I only listened to once, so I didn't really get like a full. But like I was like, oh shit, this is Meek and his fucking, and like so
in his bag, yeah.
So from what I heard from the album so far, just off Meek's performances, like I wasn't big on Meek like you said like before.
Yeah.
But like his last album, I was huge on. His last album, the Wins and Losses.
Yeah.
I thought that album was fucking super dope.
Okay.
But then like what I've heard so far from just the Meek verses, I don't think it's on par. From that.
See, and to me, I think this is the best I've heard Meek.
Okay.
In my opinion. But like I said, I've never really done a deep dive into Meek. Like, I've listened to joints off every album, but I've never really like been like, yo. And like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much music comes out all the time, especially this year. It's so flooded. But
like, there was a joint on the last one, Price. It was like basically the price of fame.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. Like, it's probably like a lot of people put like the intro as Meek's. Like I put Price.
The Nightmares or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, I put Price as my favorite Meek song. Like
Word.
Off the last album.
Okay.
Like, that song was just like kind of like it was. He kind of starts it off. He's like, yo, like when like my homies have like oh my God, like people die and like other people have issues and stuff. He's like, I gotta pay for it because I'm the big guy. He's like, whatever happens, like when I need something, and like he just talks about like the price of fame and like everybody being on him for everything, and he's like, yo, I need some shit too. Like,
yeah,
it's a dope song. You should take that in.
Word.
But yeah, so we'll come up to we wanted to save the Ross and the Jay.
Well, I think that to me, like I said, I have to listen to more of the album, but that shit was crazy. Now, I know you don't think Ross came that strong on it. I think Ross was nice on it.
I could have done without the Ross verse.
No, man. I think that's a perfect way to open it, and I think it was sequenced perfect. I like how they put Hove last. They just let Hove smash. Hove almost went Eminem on that, or drug. Like if we're gonna compare Hove to Hove, he went like Drug Dealers Anonymous. You know what I mean? Where he takes the beat and does what he wants with it. That's what I like about like older Hove too. Like Hove knows his position now. Like Eminem, early in the game, knew when people wanted him on joints. He was like, I do what I want, and he would just kind of take control.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, you're like basically like he knows you're putting him last because he's gonna kill you on it.
Yeah.
And that's where Hove's at now. He's like, I'm just rap for like 88 bars. You know what I mean? Like I'll rap for as long as I want.
Put me on the end because like that's where like you have to extend the beat.
And can we say something about Hove too? Though his rapping ability may not be as sharp now as it has been in the past, he in 2018 may have more quotables even without dropping an album. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't peep the shit with Beyonce. Because Best of Both Worlds, I wasn't huge on either of the two of them that came out.
What do you say the one with Beyonce?
There was Ape Shit, and I wasn't big on that. And I was like, I'm not even peeping the album.
I like how he said on the Ape Shit, he was like, "Tell the NFL we in stadiums too." Like, after he turned down the Super Bowl.
That's true. But
that was fire.
Can we say that Hove this year has more quotables than maybe not just every other rapper, but maybe
he's very on his empowerment
any other year
now.
in his career.
Like, because he's very on his
y'all kill X,
shit.
let Zimmerman live. Like, that was a thing, you know what I mean? And now this with the Ye shit, but like he's got quotables this year. He has
more quotables because he's more on his like empowerment shit.
Yeah, and he's more on his like, yo, this is like I'm here, you're there, like like it like a perspective thing, you know what I mean? Like he's really got these quotables this year, like where like Hove might not, like even on Drake shit, like it wasn't the strongest Hove verse, but he gives these quotables that you're just like, ooh. Like if we could compare it, Nas Echo, I think overall is a stronger song.
For what are you comparing it to?
Well, Hove, like
Hove this year?
It's stronger than the song Hove and Drake did together. And it's stronger than maybe even, I have to give the song more time to resonate, but it might even be stronger than the Meek, Ross, and Hove joint.
I think that Echo
But
is
Nas
song
didn't,
of the
aside
year.
from Julie's ass being enormous, Nas didn't give you a quotable in that song. Nas's last album he dropped, he didn't give you that quotable. Like, y'all killed X, let Zimmerman live. Streets is done. Like, it didn't even matter if that was, like, what did he rhyme before it? Like, it wasn't that ill of a rhyme, but it was the, you know what I mean? He's giving you these quotables that, like I'm trying to think of who you can compare it to, because there's been rappers in the past who aren't that lyrical that give you quotable. Like, Scarface is almost one of those dudes. Like, I'm not trying to say Scarface isn't lyrical, but you know what I mean? Like, Scarface gives you quotables.
Oh, for sure.
Like, that's what one of the things that makes him so dope. Like, I just watched a man die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I sit alone in my four-cornered room staring at candles. Like, it's the quotables from Scarface that, like, you know what I mean? Like, when my nickname was Shamrock and Black he be still trying to tease me, like, just like the quotables and the way that it's like, you know, like, it just.
So you think
the realism in the quotables, right? Like, and I think Hove this year is very strong with the quotables. Like,
do you think Echo is song of the year?
I wouldn't give Echo song of the year, but I think it's Nas's song of the year.
Okay, so
like, I don't even know if I could put it above this Meek joint. You know what I mean? I'm just saying in comparison, like, I've had time to sit on Echo. I haven't had time to sit on this joint.
Fair enough. But
and Hove spits on this joint. Like, this probably Hove's nicest verse of the year. It's a good way to close off the year. Like, he went in. Like, I had to listen to that shit 4 times on repeat just to hear the yay disses and break them all down. And then I had to listen to it more for everything else. Like, Hove went in.
True. Yeah, I probably. So, what other verses are we comparing for the Hove? What other verses do you have?
I think Eminem on Caterpillar is a slept-on verse. That verse is fire.
Okay.
Like, fire. But he doesn't give you a quotable in there either. It's just bars. But do you know what else I think is slept on? Which, you know, I'm going to sound like a stan continuing to bring them up. But I've given Kamikaze more of a chance since it came out. At first, I listened to it a couple times, like, all right, cool, moved on, right? Because so much music this year. Well, I went and bought a hard copy of it because my whole life, right, like, I buy the physicals of things I support. Yeah. And after Marshall Mathers LP 2, I was so disappointed that I didn't even buy Revival. So then when I heard Kamikaze and I liked it, when I did see a hard copy, I went out and bought it.
Okay.
And it took me a while to listen to it, right? Like, I treat CDs like I did back in the day. Like, I might not just pop it in right away. I might once or twice, but, you know, it might take me a month or two to, like, put it back in rotation. So it's gone back in rotation recently, and Kamikaze is nice. Now, people think the joint with Joyner and shit is the best. Me?
See, I still have it on my phone, and it still comes up in my shuffle.
Fallen. That joint alone. That's the joint. Like, where he goes at Budden, where he goes at Lord Jamar. Like, can't fall on my face. And, like, just the way he's like, I guess I got a drastic case. I guess I got a chronic case like the Dr. Dre,
it comes
the marijuana tape. I guess I got a chronic case. Like, it's M on his A game lyrically. Now, the whole album, like, you know, there's songs I like, but they're not the greatest. I honestly, no disrespects, I love Jesse Reyes, but I can't stand that nice guy. Like, that shit's trash to me.
I hate that.
But fucking Fallen, at first I was like, this song's alright. The more I listen to it, fire. And the one that Tay Keith did the beat for with Royce, where he disses Machine Gun Kelly, like, I don't know why Rap Devil's even a thing, because the way he went in on Machine Gun Kelly on that, he didn't even need to do Kill Shot. He killed Kelly on that.
I'm not talking about, we say, you already know who you are, Kelly. I thought that was pretty dope.
And even before that, he lines it up with you don't got to use Tech 9 next time. Like,
yeah. So,
but anyways.
Yeah, we're wrapping up.
Yeah, we just pretty much talked about Meek Mill's album for this whole episode, but you know what it is. Episode 49. Next week, we got episode 50 coming. And, yeah, you know what it is. Or we could just extend this episode. What do you think?
I think we got some good stuff. We got some Starbucks and porn in there.
We didn't even finish on Starbucks.
Okay,
let's extend this a little bit. You stop the camera for a second. Stop the camera for 1 second. So you know what? We took a slight break. We're going to come back and give you more content. Then we said, fuck it.
Yeah, we said like, we
without a condom.
Yeah, we give you mad content and like.
Do we though?
Fucking, and we give it to them raw.
Raw, I'm gonna give it to you with no trivia. Raw like Beanie Siegel. Go. Turn that off.